The image of the motorbike couldn't withstand the pressure of the floodwaters. Many cars were heavily damaged due to the hailstorm. The People's Bridge couldn't bear it either. Welcome to the most devastating flash floods of all time. On December 17, 2022, a vicious storm accompanied by flash floods and landslides descended upon the regions in Indonesia, bringing destruction and unimaginable disaster. Initially, the areas endured a turbulent day as the malevolent storm attacked. In West Java Province, Cianjur Regency and Sumedang Regency bore the brunt of terrifying flash floods and landslides on Saturday. The sub-districts of Sukaranga and Simagung became victims of this devastation. Not only were there flash floods and landslides, but also a powerful storm struck the city of Tangerang in Banten province. This storm caused horrifying devastation, damaging buildings and uprooting trees. This calamity marked one of the darkest days in history in Indonesia. The storm made landfall with horrifying force, causing widespread flooding throughout the entire region. However, what's particularly devastating is the impact on the two villages of Klambu. The Regional Disaster Management Agency of Groningen Regency issued a warning that this flash flood event is a result of intense rainfall in the Klambu district and surrounding areas. Despite their efforts, vehicles struggled to navigate through the raging waters, ultimately coming to a standstill. The road transformed into a river, sweeping away everything in its path, including valuable belongings of the local residents. The motorbike couldn't withstand the force of the rushing water, causing the driver and the motorcycle to fall down. Fortunately, bystanders arrived in time to provide assistance. The pedestrian bridge used by residents couldn't withstand the force of the floodwaters either. The vehicles, once accustomed to cruising along beautiful roads, are now being swept away by furious floodwaters. The sight is truly surreal, as people must find ways to keep themselves away from the towering flood, often perched atop their own vehicles in a bid to protect their lives. The prolonged storm has unleashed an unforeseen catastrophe, claiming the lives of at least 90 people, with 70 others still missing. Thousands of individuals have been forced to abandon their homes and seek safety amidst the chaos of nature. Typhoon Haiku has wreaked havoc on Taiwan, making a direct landfall on the island and striking partially populated mountainous regions in the southeast before advancing southward. Taiwan's Minister of Economic Affairs reported that over 260,000 households have lost electricity due to the terrifying force of the typhoon. The China Meteorological Administration predicts that Haiku will continue its trajectory, making landfall along the border between Guangdong and Fujian provinces in China. The weakening of the typhoon is expected to occur on Tuesday morning. Images depict roads inundated with fallen trees caused by powerful winds, resulting in severe damage to numerous vehicles. The typhoon also toppled a mobile phone tower in the city. Tremendous force of heavy rain and rapid winds has severely restricted visibility, creating hazardous and challenging conditions for daily life. Thousands of people have had to evacuate their homes, and the vehicles have been swept away by the floods as the winds from Typhoon Haiku have now weakened. All vehicles had to come to a halt in the face of the ongoing challenges. On September 11, 2017, a terrible disaster struck in central Laos, when hundreds of thousands of cubic meters of mud water poured down into 8 villages. This incident occurred following heavy rainfall that caused the reservoir of the Nam O Dam at the source to overflow. The sight of local residents fleeing the horrifying floodwaters left everyone in awe. Even vehicles had to hastily move as they realized the impending danger. However, despite their utmost efforts, all attempts became futile as they couldn't match the speed of the power of this torrential flood. The video captured by a witness shows cars being swept away by floodwaters on residential streets. The floods have resulted in property damage, and hundreds of people are believed to have been evacuated, but there are no immediate reports of casualties. Hong Kong experienced widespread flooding on Friday, September 8th, following the city's report of the highest hourly rainfall ever recorded in its 140-year history. Traffic came to a standstill and shops were inundated after the storm. Basements and roads were submerged in water. The government closed schools and instructed workers to stay home. The most severe hailstorm in a century has plunged Tashang County, Guangzhou Province, southwestern China into chaos and devastation. Described as a natural disaster, this hailstorm lasted for about 30 minutes and had hailstones with a diameter up to 7 centimeters, causing unbelievable horror. The consequences are not only the damage caused by the hail to cars, but also the economic destruction of the county. Initial estimates suggest direct losses accounting to around $2.3 million US. Every corner of the area is riddled with holes, posing unimaginable challenges for the residents in the aftermath of this horrendous hailstorm. Farmers also suffered significant losses due to the hailstorm. Entire houses, factories, and even ancient trees were all ravaged by the hailstones. The vehicles on the road became targets for thousands of hailstones. While some of the hailstones were small in size at times, they fell regularly and formed a dense layer of hail. Some even shared that these hailstones were the size of ping pong balls, large enough to cause serious consequences. Streets were submerged in hail with a thickness of up to 20 centimeters. Furthermore, the storm flooded roads, leaving many vehicles stranded. Meteorological experts caution people not to engage in outdoor activities in open areas during this time, as they be mindful of the risks of lightning strikes. A flash flood is a rapid or extreme surge of water or currents in a stream or waterway that begins within 6 hours of an event, like heavy rain, dam failure, etc. Flash floods pose risks to people, property, and the environment by combining the power and availability of water with everyday life. Come see the top 10 brutal power of flash floods and terrible scenes caught on camera. As the climate changes and glaciers melt, a little-known threat lurks in the high mountains: flooding in glacial lakes. These events happen rapidly, releasing huge amounts of water with little or no warning. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan is a country in South Asia. Pakistan has a coastline of 1,046 kilometers or 650 miles along the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Oman to the south. Inside North Pakistan is the story I want to talk about. On May 7th, 2022, a bad thing happened. The Hassanabad Bridge in northern Pakistan collapsed after a heat wave melted a glacier, releasing a huge amount of water into the streams and surrounding areas. Video of the bridge collapse was captured on camera. Unusually record-high temperatures in Pakistan have melted glaciers in the Himalayas, rising water levels causing flooding in northern Pakistan. Heavy rains and flash floods have damaged many houses, roads, and belongings of the people of this country. The 2022 floods have damaged most water systems in the affected areas, forcing more than 5.4 million people, including 2.5 million children, to rely solely on polluted water from ponds and lakes. Chongqing, one of China's most developed cities and home to more than 30 million people, located at the confluence of 3 rivers, it was once a transportation hub between North and South China. And this is also the place that suffered the worst flood in China in the past 10 years. Heavy rains since July 3rd are believed to have caused much disturbance in central and northern regions of China. July 4th in Chongqing City, heavy rain disrupted the Cebu rail line on Tuesday. Flooding also inundated some houses in urban area, forcing many people to leave their homes. A 400-year-old bridge was swept away by flash floods due to the rainstorms in Changchacha City. The water tore through buildings, broke roads and bridges, damaged or destroyed some 2,500 properties, and caused pollution concerns as it swept through chemical plants and hazardous waste sites. It also submerged downtown Midland, a city of 40,000 people, under nearly 3 meters of water. The disaster on May 19th and 20th, 2020, caused at least $175 million in damage and left 2 empty lake beds. A known incident? They have long warned that climate change and increased runoff from the population growth are putting greater pressure on poorly maintained dams. What happened in Michigan, they say, could happen to many other aging dams across the United States or the world. Massive floods swept through the Turkish capital Ankara. Some tunnels were flooded, and traffic disruptions occurred on many roads and avenues. In the Altındağ district, windstorms also broke building windows and damaged mosques. Recently, on June 3, 2023, Ankara was subjected to heavy rain causing extensive property damage. Flood water flooded this apartment building and then submerged a nearby road. People are asked to be careful. And the Townsend Dam in southwestern Vermont were expected to overflow their spillways, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers warned on Monday night. Vermont remains under a state of emergency, with water in downtown Montpelier running from knee to waist deep on Tuesday, stranding residents in their homes and shutting down roads and businesses.